bracing for Hurricane Ian. Tonight, we take you down south for the preparations being made before it makes landfall. Plus,
our crews will be set up to help with restoration activities.
AES Ohio is sending crews to Florida to help in the aftermath of the hurricane, how they're planning to help those who need it most.
Then, new information surrounding the heartbeat bill in Ohio, what new court documents are revealing. And
not only are you getting your entertainment value, but you're helping someone else in the community as well.
A local haunted house is preparing to open its doors again, what you can expect and how it benefits the community.
Another chilly one across the Miami Valley. How long this will stick around, coming up.
Live on ABC 22, you're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
First tonight, a live look at radar as Hurricane Ian continues to barrel down Florida's coast. And due to the severity of that storm, officials are urging people to get out of its way. Thanks for joining us. I'm Adam Errol.
And I'm Megan O'Rourke. The storm is already slamming Cuba as the island remains without electricity after Hurricane Ian collapsed the power grid there. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the latest on the severe weather threat.
Tonight, Hurricane Ian barreling towards Florida. The monster storm, 400 miles across, strengthening throughout the day as it closes in on the Florida coast.
Oh, my Lord.
Ian now forecast to make landfall in the Sunshine State later tomorrow, bringing life-threatening impacts. Hurricane hunters scoping out the storm from 45,000 feet above.
The strength and scope of Hurricane Ian, to me personally, professionally, is impressive. I encourage all possibly affected personnel to take shelter and take appropriate precautions to protect life and property.
Ian once again taking a turn, now setting out towards Sarasota, though all of the Florida peninsula faces significant impacts. ABC's Victor Oquendo in Cape Coral, where residents are bracing for up to 12 feet of storm surge.
Storm surge and flooding is a major concern, so they'll be relying heavily on these. They're called weirs, and they can be lowered or raised to help control the flow of water.
In nearby Fort Myers, residents scrambling to board up.
Did you feel like you were in the clear yesterday,
first, yeah.
and now you're right in the path?
And today, I better go get it before it's too late.
But despite the slight shift, the Tampa area not out of the woods just yet. The city still in the danger zone with several areas under mandatory evacuation orders. Throughout the day, families looking to make a clean break met with snarling traffic instead.
We have about 2.5 million Floridians that are currently under some type of an evacuation order.
And for those who choose to ride the storm out, the mayor of St. Petersburg with this message.
After a certain time when tropical force winds are here, we will not be sending out first responders.
And officials at both the federal and state level really building up the disaster response here, sending in medical, search and rescue teams, along with soldiers from the National Guard. In Tampa, Florida, I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News.
Now, FEMA is also telling Florida residents to stay focused and to be prepared.
So the main message I have for everyone in Florida is that this is going to impact everyone in different ways. So you need to stay focused.
2.5 million people in Florida are under some kind of evacuation order tonight as Hurricane Ian approaches. Damage is expected across a wide area of that state.
Ohio Task Force 1, as well as crews from AES Ohio, are moving towards the path of that storm.
And Mamie Baugh is here now to tell us how they plan to help in the areas that are going to need it most. Mamie.
Right now, the task force is on standby waiting for Ian to make landfall. A spokesperson with AES Ohio tells me more than a dozen crews will go to Georgia tomorrow.
AES Ohio preparing to get people out of the dark in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian.
Our crews will be set up to help with restoration activities, depending on what the storm brings us. Make sure that it's safe, and then restore power.
16 crews totaling 21 members will leave Wednesday for Georgia.
It's devastating to families to go through a hurricane or storm with a potential loss of home and other belongings.
Ohio Task Force 1 also plans to assist those most impacted. Right now, 47 members of the search and rescue team are laying low in southeast Alabama, waiting for Ian to make landfall.
Dangerous environment that we're going to be going into. It's dangerous for the general population. It's dangerous for us. So there's a lot of dangers we got to be aware of. We got a very experienced crew.
Right now, Ian is expected to take aim at Florida, making landfall as a Category 4 hurricane. The task force tells me if that happens, it can't imagine going anywhere else.
We'll go in and do search and rescue of either collapsed or inundated buildings, especially from storm surge. Usually after that, we'll do, kind of boat rescues and stuff.
Ian is expected to make landfall Wednesday night. AES Ohio and the task force say they look forward to helping those who will be most impacted.
Right now, it's unclear how long AES Ohio or Ohio Task Force 1 will be helping with the affected areas. Now, the task force tells me, depending on what happens with the storm, things are subject to change. Back to you.
Mamie, thanks so much. And we will continue to keep you updated with the latest on Hurricane Ian on air and online at Dayton247now.com.
Well, live look outside from our Kettering Health Sky Cam. Another breezy fall day in the Miami Valley. The temperatures, they are dropping. Natalie's feeling that right now on our Watson's Weather patio. So, Natalie, how cold is it going to be for the bus stop tomorrow?
Well, definitely needing a jacket out at the bus stop tomorrow. It is another chilly one for us. It's cold out here right now. Chilly, I would say, out here right now. Definitely in need of a jacket. We're in the 40s, already 47 in Dayton, 45 in Urbana. We're at 45 in Bell Fountain. And compared to this time yesterday, it's significantly colder, 7 degrees colder, in fact, in Dayton, 5 degrees colder in Springfield. Now, through the overnight hours, we're going to drop to around the same number, dropping into the low to mid 40s. So kids heading out to the bus stop tomorrow morning, plan on needing a jacket for the start of the day, and then long sleeves really by the afternoon. We'll see our high temperatures. They're going to be in the lower 60s, which will be around to slightly even cooler than what we saw for today. So coming up, I'll talk about this fall-like weather, how long it will last, and plus I'm going to talk about Hurricane Ian and if we'll see any impacts right here in the Miami Valley.
Natalie, thanks. New court documents show 2 more teens who were raped traveled out of state for an abortion after being turned down in Ohio. One of these teens includes a 16-year-old who was not allowed to get an abortion at the Women's Med Center in Dayton. Ohio's heartbeat bill says no abortion can be performed after a heartbeat is detected, which is around 6 weeks. The documents show hundreds of women going out of state to get an abortion for a variety of reasons. A Hamilton County judge currently has a temporary injunction on the state's bill. A hearing will be held next Friday regarding it.
Clear Creek Township Officer Eric Ney is back home tonight, more than 2 months after he was shot in the line of duty. Now, Ney was shot in the face while responding to a domestic call in July. Ever since, he's been in and out of the hospital. Ney's latest surgery was to patch a hole in his skull that was letting air get into his brain. The man who shot him was then shot and killed by another officer. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations has since concluded that Officer Ney and Sergeant Nicole Cordero acted lawfully during the shooting.
A Cincinnati judge will decide next week if the case of a former high school cheerleader convicted of abusing her baby's corpse will remain sealed. Brooke Skylar Richardson was 18 and a senior at Carlisle High School when she secretly gave birth in 2017. She buried the baby in the backyard. Richardson was found not guilty of murder and manslaughter. She was convicted of abuse of a corpse, though, and was sentenced to 3 years probation. She was released after 14 months. The Warren County prosecutor opposed sealing the record, saying it would diminish the seriousness of that offense.
Caught on camera, some Columbus area restaurant workers attacked by an angry customer. It all happened last Wednesday night, and again, it was caught on store cameras. The man in the red shirt there returned his food to the counter, saying the order was wrong, but while employees worked to make it right, they say he got louder, cursing and swearing, and that's when managers asked him to lower his voice. We're told he then threw the food at them, and as you see, took almost a dozen full beverage bottles and also threw those at employees.
An unruly patron in a store is one thing. They may be upset over the service or the product they received, but to take it to a violent level is just totally unacceptable.
Investigators say one woman suffered bruises to her arms but is expected to be okay. Week 3 of the Pike County Massacre trial continuing today. George Wagner is accused of killing 8 members of the Roden and Gilly families back in 2016. Today in court, a shoe print specialist matched footprints found at that first scene with an actual shoe and size. Prosecutors say George's mother, Angela, bought the style and size of the shoes that were matched from a local Walmart just days before the killings. It's the first piece of physical evidence possibly linking George to a crime scene.
Centerville City Schools holding a presentation to show off how the district plans for active threats. Now, this is following numerous active shooter hoaxes from across the state. The district partnering with Centerville Safe, the Centerville Police Department, and the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office for the presentation. It'll take place next Wednesday, the 5th, in the High School Central Theater at 7 p.m. It is open to parents, guardians, students, staff, and community members. Centerville Safe is also collecting items at the event for classroom emergency kits throughout the district. The nonprofit group has created an Amazon wish list and is accepting donations from the community. You can find the link to that wish list under this story at our website.
Tonight, we're hearing from the Montgomery County Board of Alcohol, Drug Addiction and Mental Health Services after receiving a $400,000 grant. That grant is going to be used to promote the mental health of Black youth. The board plans to train staff at partner organizations, including Children's Services and Dayton Children's. They plan to launch ACEs Aware, a new screening technology, which up until now had only been used in California.
What we came up with was looking at childhood trauma, which hasn't been done that often before, and addressing issues such as child abuse, child neglect, and some things that we call household dysfunction. And what we're able to do with that is really work to reduce stress among young people because it changes their brain.
The county says the higher a child scores on the screening, the more likely they are to experience mental health concerns later in life. The information allows agencies to start more robust early intervention.
A community comes together to help provide a fresh start for a Ukrainian family. The work that went into making their new apartment feel like home.
The Castle of Carnage here in Riverside is reopened, and I give you an exclusive inside look with a very special guest.
Plus, I'm tracking below normal temperatures. How much longer they last, that's coming up. Here's a live look from our Kettering Hill Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Well, spooky season is upon us, and a local organization already has festivities well underway.
The Riverside JC's just opened its Castle of Carnage haunted house and trail for the season, and it's now inviting people of all ages to come out and enjoy. Bryn Caswell is live in Riverside tonight, showing us how this October event does much more than chill attendees to the bone.
Adam and Megan, I have a question for you two. Are you guys brave enough to go through these doors and face the werewolves, clowns, and monsters that lie inside? And if you guys are brave enough, just know all of the money raised here at this event goes directly back to helping people here in Riverside. And this year I got a very special tour from a special guest. Good morning, or should I say good evening? My name is Myra Maines. Clever, huh? I have just reawakened for the 37th season of the Riverside JC's Castle of Carnage. Let me give you a quick tour of my home and all of my friends who live inside. Oh, but first, meet my keeper, Julie Denning.
We just love giving back to the community, and this is the way we can do it.
The way we do it is by saying boo, and sometimes to dozens of people each week. But this guy isn't too lively.
All of the money is used to help families and children in need in the area, so all your dollars stay local, which is really cool.
We help kids, like this one, who keeps giving me a creepy, no blinking death stare. Is it because I have no eyes, baby?
But we do JC's for Kids, which is where we get a kid's wish list from mom or dad, and we go shopping. And then Santa invites the kids to a private party. We do a free Easter egg hunt, which we service like 600 kids every year. And these are families that are falling on hard times, or maybe the kids have had some emotional issues or trauma-related issues that they just need that little boost at the holidays to let them know people still care.
So even though the Castle of Carnage may be a little scary, and you don't know who you'll run into, like a werewolf, the serial killer, or my ex-boyfriend, Bag of Bones here, remember, it's all for Riverside.
Not only are you getting your entertainment value, but you're helping someone else in the community as well.
Now get out of my castle. You've exhausted me to death, and I need my beauty sleep before this weekend. Bonsoir. Man, that Myra Maines was such a character, and she was quite bossy at times. But just remember, this Castle of Carnage, it is open every weekend, Friday through Sunday. Friday through Saturday, the doors open at 8 p.m. and close at midnight. And on Sunday nights, doors open at 8 p.m. and close at 10 p.m. And remember, all of the proceeds raised here through ticket sales, which tickets are $17, and you can get a fast pass for $25. All of those sales and the revenue go directly towards helping people and kids here in Riverside. Reporting live in Riverside, Bryn Caswell, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Brent, thanks. And while the money raised goes towards yearly events for kids, in 2020, all the money raised from the VIP line went towards buying the Riverside Fire Department thermal imaging cameras. To learn more details about the Castle of Carnage and find a helpful link for discounts, you can visit the web version of this story at Dayton247now.com.
Well, talking about Hurricane Ian this evening, still a Category 3 storm and continuing to strengthen as it travels its way northward. Expected to become a Category 4 hurricane. Right now we do have winds in this storm of 120 miles per hour. So very powerful storm, gusts of 150 miles per hour, traveling to the north-northeast at 10 miles per hour. It is expected to make landfall sometime tomorrow, likely tomorrow afternoon into the evening as a Category 4 storm. Now, as it travels northward, it will, of course, weaken once it moves over land, but still bringing significant impacts to the west coast of Florida. And we could even see some very minor impacts right here in the Miami Valley. So I'm going to talk about that. But for what we saw for today, it was a cool one, only making it up to 63. That's 11 degrees below our normal high of 74. 44 was our low temperature. Chilly start to the day, only got into the lower 60s. In fact, many places stayed in the 50s throughout the day. With 40s out there right now, 45 Bell Fountain, 46 Wapakoneta, 46 in Salina, upper 40s south of I-70. Compared to this time yesterday, we have temperatures about 5 or so degrees cooler. So it is feeling a little chillier out there this evening, but overall we're going to drop to about the same number as what we were last night. So a chilly one is expected, still needing a jacket if you're going to be out and about. We saw some cloud cover, even a couple of showers make their way through earlier into the day, but really going to see cloud cover build in again for the start of the day tomorrow. We have a weak front that'll push its way just off to the north of us, which will bring a little bit more in the way of cloud cover by tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 40s. Now by tomorrow afternoon, we start to see that clearing, but notice temperature wise, we're going to be hanging out in the 50s, maybe even some lower 60s out there. And then by Thursday, we start out in the 40s and then back up into the 60s, mid to upper 60s by our Thursday afternoon. So we do start to see temperatures climb a bit. Thursday's really just going to be a really nice fall day. If it was too cool for you today, Thursday's looking much better, getting up into those mid 60s, then finally back up into the 70s by the end of the week and this upcoming weekend. It's looking really nice. We'll see temperatures that will be below normal to right around normal for this time of the year, and a small chance for rain Sunday into Monday, and that's due to the potential impacts of the remnants of Ian that we'll be monitoring. But 44 for tonight, west northwesterly wind that'll be 10 miles per hour heading into the day tomorrow. We see our highs back up in the 60s, only at 61. Very fall-like day is expected. Here's that extended forecast. Notice temperatures in the 70s through this weekend. Small chance for showers on Sunday, and then even into Monday potentially, but lower 70s through the start of next week. Lows in the 40s and 50s, which will be right around what we typically see for this time of the year.
Natalie, thanks. Live pictures over the Capitol as Capitol riot cases continue. Ahead, the case involving a local woman that is now underway and how long that trial is expected to last.
Within 40 minutes, everything you see here, minus a few things of furnishings, were committed from friends, family, strangers, everything.
A Ukrainian family escaping from war now settling in the Miami Valley. The apartment they'll now call home with the help of the Dayton community.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
A live look at the nation's capital, where tomorrow's January 6th hearing has been postponed as Hurricane Ian heads towards Florida. The committee leaders say they're praying for the safety of all those in the storm's path, but assure the investigation is moving forward. This hearing is expected to focus on how members of former President Trump's inner circle wanted to declare victory no matter what the 2020 election's results were. Rescheduled dates for the proceedings will be announced soon. And one of the most serious cases to emerge from the January 6th attack is underway today. Jury selection has begun in the trial of the founder of the Oath Keepers extremist group and 4 others charged with seditious conspiracy. This includes Jessica Watkins out of Champaign County. They're accused of planning to violently stop the transfer of power from former President Trump to President Biden. The last guilty trial verdict for seditious conspiracy was nearly 3 decades ago. This trial is expected to last about 5 weeks.
Today is the last day of voting in separatist regions of Ukraine. Voters in those areas are supposed to decide whether or not they want to become a part of Russia. Ukrainian and Western leaders have called these referendums a sham and say they won't recognize the territories as part of Russia. Experts believe the votes will lead Russia to formally annex the territories as soon as Friday. The White House says there will be big consequences for Russia if that happens.
A Ukrainian family that escaped the country has just arrived in Dayton with the help of a Dayton detective. Detective Rod Roberts met Andre and his family while in Kyiv training him and others. Now, years later, the family had to flee their eastern Ukrainian home and reached out to Roberts for help. Roberts posted to Facebook asking for that help, and he found it.
Within 40 minutes, everything you see here, minus a few things of furnishings, were committed from friends, family, strangers, everything. They're going to have beds to sleep in, new pajamas to put on, food in the fridge, food in the pantry, food in the freezer, everything's ready to go.
Now, Andre, his wife, and 3 children arrived in Dayton a little over an hour ago after 30 hours of travel.
OSU is facing Rutgers at the Shoe this weekend. Their coach talks about key injuries and what we can all expect. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
A 3-1 Rutgers team coming to the Shoe on Saturday afternoon. Not that many questions for Ryan Day about the Scarlet Knights, but plenty about the status of top wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. Clay Hall spoke with Day about that star player.
Hoping to, have at least Cam and Denzel back. I don't think we'll see Jordan here, for at least another week or so.
As for top receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba, who has missed most of the season with a hamstring injury, he has 4 catches in 2 games played.
He and the training staff are going to work hard. I know he's frustrated, but we're not as far away as we think. And if he just has the mindset of showing up every day and getting as much treatment as he can and taking care of his body, this will be behind us soon, and we still got a lot of football to play.
Rutgers is 3-1 with wins over Boston College, Temple, and Wagner. The Scarlet Knights lost their Big Ten opener at home to Iowa 27-10. I asked Ryan Day about rolling out new wrinkles each week. He confirmed that they try to do that, something to think about for the